Hi there, this is Ronnie, coming at you with a video. Conversational piece. Talking with Jason, who is running the Call of Cthulhu game that I'm playing in on a Monday night on the Pair of Geeks 2 channel. If you don't already watch it, check him out. And it's going really well. We're on sort of the second chapter. We've done a prologue, we've done the first chapter, and we're nearing the end of chapter 2. And as soon as that chapter ends, obviously I'll do a recap video on here. But it's getting to that point where getting to that point where it looks like there's going to be a major confrontation. And that, being Cthulhu, tends to mean that major confrontation tends to mean character death. And the possibility, of course, that it will be a total party kill, TPK. And Jason and I were discussing these sort of not so much the rights and wrongs of it, but just the acceptance of it. If you're running a fantasy game, big epic fantasy game, TPKs can be annoying because you're trying to tell this big epic tale. Similarly, if you're doing a superheroes game, similarly if you're doing sci-fi, pretty much any other genre, deaths happen, character deaths happen. It's the nature of a game. Sometimes characters can get from one end of a campaign to the other and none of them die. And if that's the way it happens, that's the way it happens. But with horror, unless there is a real tangible sense that the characters could die, that any move they make could be sort of directly met with death, or could set a chain of events off that could lead to death, should be ever present. Because without that feeling of dread, there's and suspense and genuine tension, horror games fail. I mean, you can describe a place in lurid detail. You can describe a death in all, in sort of anatomically gross descriptions, but that's just flavouring. The meat of any horror game is the sense of impending dread. But in the larger scale of thing, be it horror or any other campaign, if a TPK happens, it happens. The thing about a TPK is you don't want the TPK to happen as a result of the GM deliberately setting up a no-win situation. That's wrong. That's the GM that's a GM actually actively playing against the players, which is not the job of a GM. The GM is there to provide a challenge, not to provide a brick wall for everyone to smash their heads against. But TPKs happen. They've happened to me twice, both in recent memory and both with horror games. And the reason they happen invariably is nothing to do with the GM. It's to do with players not picking up on something, some clue they've missed, some question they didn't ask, some road they didn't take. And they may be utterly unaware of it until the final bit where they realise, oh God, maybe we should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque, to quote Bugs Bunny. It's a combination of that and bad dice rolls. And by bad dice rolls, I mean dice rolls that are bad for the players, both in terms of the players rolling badly and the GM rolling well. NPCs succeeding in things and the PCs actually not succeeding in anything. But they tend to be the combination. And that first one about players, that's not due to bad play necessarily. We're playing a massive Nyarlathotep, which is this huge campaign, and there are so many strands and avenues of investigation that you're going to miss something. If you're really, really lucky, what you have gotten is enough, but you're going to miss something somewhere along the line. I think we've done really, really well so far, but there might be an avenue or two we've missed, and that might count against us in the final tally for this kind of confrontation. I think the other thing that players can do to hasten a TPK is if they believe themselves to be invulnerable. Walk into a place believing that they will be superb, that they will be phenomenal, that they can do it all. That kind of arrogance tends to lead to death, and lots of it. I personally don't have a problem with the notion of TPKs. They happen. And as long as the GM is playing fair, it's not one of these GMs that are just throwing everything at you because they want to kill you. I've been in games with GMs like that. It's never fun. As long as they're playing fair And fair cuts both ways. And this is the especially for horror. Fair has to cut both ways. You have to be fair, not only fair to the players, but also fair to your NPCs as a GM. If you roll, you're the GM and you roll and your NPC is hit with a sort of critical success, going to do immense amounts of damage. It's shitty. It's not nice, and it's unfortunate for the poor player that is going to get it, but it happens. At the start of the game, before anything, Jason asked the players which version of Cthulhu we wanted to play, because there was a choice. There was traditional sort of regular Call of Cthulhu, albeit the current 7th edition, or there is Pulp Cthulhu, where everything's kind of turned up a notch and it's a bit more sort of action adventure and all the rest of it. And we chose regular Cthulhu. But when you do that, when you decide that you're going to take not the sort of heroic, sort of Indiana Jones kind of Saturday morning serial approach, but you're taking the traditional sort of gothic horror approach to the story, then you're sort of accepting that your character could die. I mean, we've had character deaths already. One character died in the first chapter. One character's already died in this chapter that we're currently on. But TPKs happen. They really do. As GMs, they're unfortunate. If you've done your job right as a GM, you've created a challenge that is that's suitable for the storyline, the situation, and the characters. If the whole party dies due to that, as I say, that mix of maybe not having the right information at the right time because they've missed something. The other thing that I mentioned about arrogance and the bad dice rolls, as in bad for the players, then TPKs happen. There's no point in worrying about them. It's really annoying if it happens kind of early in a campaign, because I think the situation we're in at the moment is, if we were to all die, that's pretty much the campaign over. Because the idea of 4 completely unknown characters suddenly picking up the thread for the rest of the adventure just doesn't make any logical sense. Might happen, but I don't think it will. Not unless there's a good reason for it. But it's really intense, and we're really enjoying it, and none of us want it to end. But when we sort of held our hands up and said we want to play a horror game, we accepted as part of that there was the real possibility that we would be playing a game in which our characters could die, and we run the risk that all our characters could die at one event. It's unfortunate. But stories have an end. Sometimes the story ends because the heroes have been victorious, and sometimes the story ends because the heroes are all dead in a ditch somewhere. And that's the way it is. Sometimes heroes die. Sometimes the world isn't saved. It's a downer, but it happens. Individual characters can die. Heroes can die. Whole parties can die. And as long as GM is playing fair, then there is absolutely nothing wrong with the TPK. It only becomes a problem if the GM's not playing fair. But we all went into this knowing our characters could die. I mean, it's Cthulhu, for God's sake. You get into this knowing you might die. But as long as everyone's aware of that, everyone accepts that, then you just play every moment to the hilt. There's that old adage of live your life every day of your life as if it's going to be your last. It's kind of true of playing Cthulhu and horror games in general. Just enjoy every moment of the game. Enjoy the battle, the every moment of where you do have your little victories, because it might just end tomorrow, but you'll remember the day, and you'll have incredible memories of that campaign, even if that campaign ends with your character dying. You'll still have this incredible story to tell. You have a bit of a downer ending, but it'll still be a great story. I don't know what's going to happen next with the Cthulhu game. Will my current character survive? I don't know. By the end of this chapter, I might be getting another character. But I'm enjoying the moments. I'm enjoying the game. But we all got into this knowing it could turn out badly for us all. And that's just the way it sometimes goes. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll be back soon with another video.